The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Platinum webinar with your host, Todd Walters.
Hey, thank you, Andrea. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're doing well, selling houses, selling big. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about today's program. We're not going to be here long, but we are going to be here for a little while discussing what I consider to be something that just about every Platinum member should be using in their own marketplace, and that's newsletter marketing. But particularly today, we're going to talk about using it as a farming tool. Now, if you were at the conference, the last Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker conference we had, our summit actually, back in April, do you remember that I got Sarah Reynolds to come up on stage, and we spent some time highlighting a little bit about what she was doing in her marketplace with her USP farming newsletter. So I threw up on the screen here one of the templates that we've worked up that you're welcome to use as a Platinum member. We're going to get to that in just a little bit, but just to give you some ideas here on really what you should be looking at for your business is marketing systems to get listings. So you have access to a lot. I think we've got over 40 ways documented in the Platinum program to get listings. But part of my top picks for getting listings is using your prospects' mailboxes and using them well. So every month, I want you to imagine this, every month you show up like nobody else does in your prospects' mailbox. Again, you show up like no one else does. Okay, in your prospects' mailbox, you're going to stand out, you're going to generate leads from those people that are considering making a move. Now, the magic number for me on this is 8,000. If you're looking at numbers of 3,000 and 5,000 and that sort of thing as a farming tool, as a USP farming newsletter, that's okay. I just don't think the results are going to be what you want them to be. But if it were me, I would be looking at 8,000 or more. So to help us with this, I've asked Sarah Reynolds to come back to the stage. So we're going to open up her mic. Sarah, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Hey, look, how things going there in the D.C. area?
Doing good. Having our best year yet.
How's that baby doing?
She's not a baby anymore. She's a little girl, but she's growing like crazy.
Yeah? How old is she now?
She's 15 months, but looking like a 3-year-old.
Unbelievable. They grow up so fast, I'm telling you. I got one that just graduated, and it seems like just not too long ago. I was reading her bedtime stories. So it's amazing how fast it grows. So how fast life goes by.
Well, congrats on the graduate.
Yeah, we got one done. Now she's on her way to college here, and got to get another one through high school. So that's it. And after that, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with myself.
Yeah.
All right, look.
All of us.
Yeah. So you're having your best year ever here. I know that one of your primary marketing tools is this USP farming newsletter that you guys do.
Correct. Yeah. Outside of referrals, it's our second primary marketing tool.
All right. That's fantastic. So give me a little bit of idea here of the evolution of it. When you first started it, how you asked me to get involved and when that was, and kind of what the results have been as we've worked on it together.
Yeah, so I started doing the newsletter myself before ever joining the program, just to a small farm area, and it's something that I sort of created, and it was the traditional real estate fluff, like just call us to sell your house, or sadly that might not have even been in there. And then I was seeing some results just from doing it consistently, but not seeing the type of results that I would have liked. So then I called you and I sent it to you, and you looked at it and said some positive things, but more negative things, and just said that basically I need to use more of Craig Proctor ads. I need to have my USP on there. All of the things that you mentioned, even the biggest thing for me even is the USP ad with our listings. So how we were marketing our listings wasn't to get the best return. So I made all of those changes, and I got over, I think the first time when I made those changes, I got like triple the results from what I was getting every month in the amount of leads. Yeah, so this is the page with the homes for sale. And so it's something that I've worked with you on over the past now couple of years and has been, like I said, right after referrals, are very close to referrals, is our this newsletter. So just following the Craig Proctor way with a USP and having editorial ads and classified ads mixed in has just been a huge, huge game changer for us. You still there?
Income. Yeah, what's your GCI going to be? I'm sorry, what's your GCI going to be this year, you think?
At least 1.5 million. We're shooting for 2, but I would like to see it at least at 1.5.
Okay. All right, well, that's good, and that's great information. All right, so let's take a look then at the newsletter that we kind of created together, and this isn't yours, but this is the template that came as a result of. And I got to confess, it wasn't just you that I was talking to, and there's several other Platinum members I was helping with their newsletters, and we're testing information and masterminding this stuff back and forth, and end up with something that really, really works, and to the point of, okay, other Platinum members should be doing this, and I'll do my best to help them by making it really easy for them. So you were kind enough to turn us on to the printer that was doing the work for you. And we've got Bruce with us. We're going to bring him on here in just a few minutes and help us walk through kind of how to get this going and what it costs and all those kinds of good things. But we'll take a look at the template here real fast. I want to walk everybody through this. Okay, the first thing is here, there's 4 pages. It's a 4-page template. Okay, and 4 pages is a big deal. Here's why. Number one is that you want your prospect, when they pick something up that you send them, you want them to use their fingers. Like, you want them to be busy, engaged. In a great way is to have them flipping pages and turning pages back and forth and having to use their hands and fingers. Don't think that it's not strategically planned for a company like Publishers Clearinghouse when they use them little stamps and all the other peely, sticky things. That's all designed to get people more engaged with their mailing piece, and that's a strategic marketing system. If you didn't, for those of you watching, didn't figure that out on your own. Okay, but the first thing we did is that we consistently added the unique selling proposition as a banner to every page. So I'm going to try to blow this up a little bit so everybody can get a better look at it. Now again, this is the template, and you can see on whether it's on this page, whether it's on this page or this page or this page. The banner, your unique selling proposition, your photo, your brand, and your call to action are consistent on every page. Okay, and that's rule number 1. Okay, I want to make sure that everybody understands in this template. Now, in this template, it's your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it, because that's the most commonly used performance.
I believe we have lost Todd's audio. Sarah, just say hello so I know you're still there.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, good. I can hear you. So it looks like we might have just lost Todd. Let me see if I can get a hold of him. Everybody, but you are back, Todd. We lost you there for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I've got some internet connection issues, but I'm here. So, but anyway, so the banner is consistent, and the USP performance guarantee could be changed out. All right, that's rule number 1. Consistent banner, every page, unique selling proposition, call to action. All right, now if we go down to the bottom, we have our footer. Okay, again, your brand, your logo, brokerage recognition, along with the footer, and the footer you can see is consistent on every page. This page, that page, this page. Okay, let me open up my pages so you can see them. But every page has the same footer. Okay. Find out how much you can sell your home for and how long it will take. Okay, that's an excellent offer. And as Platinum members, you have a landing page specifically for that offer on your Platinum website. Okay, so you just need to know what page that is, register a URL for it for your newsletter. Okay, so again, the footer and the banner is consistent on every page of the newsletter. Okay, performance guarantee at the top. And footer is find out how much you can sell your home for and how long it will take. And that is the same in every single newsletter every month that your prospects get. That's very important that you hold on to that consistency. Okay? So those are the big rules in terms of performance guarantee and offers on the banners and the footers. All right. The next thing that we were able to determine with Sarah is what we call proof of results of the unique selling proposition. Right, Sarah?
Yep.
Yep. Just proof, evidence. Okay? So, for example, 4 big reasons to call to sell your home. And we're using Marie here as our templated agent. But number 1, we have more buyers. Number 2, we sell your home for more money. Number 3, your home's just going to sell faster. And number 4, it's just much more likely to happen. Okay? So, again, as a rule, the unique selling proposition, the 4 big reasons, the banner, and the footer must be consistent on every template, okay, on every newsletter that hits your mailboxes in the marketplace. You guys have heard me go on and on about the big 6 ingredients of your unique selling proposition, okay? They're all incorporated here, all right? So that's a rule. All right, so let's look at a couple of other things. Okay, so on this page, you can see we've got editorial ad, and then we back up our guarantee here in this box with how it works. Now, Sarah, you noticed this a pretty strategic increase in like the 3rd run. Like we changed the newsletter up 2 or 3 times, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we noticed increases each time we went back and we clarified things a little bit more. So, for example, it's one thing to say your home sold guaranteed or I'll buy it, like we do at the very top of your newsletter, but when we actually got into this box and we explained a little bit more in detail how it works, what happened?
Yeah, I was getting calls ever so often about the guarantee, but I wasn't getting a ton about it. But when I added this part in, all of the calls were about my USP, and so it was just a big difference of letting people know. Like I think in my area in particular, people are very skeptical, so they wanted to know, okay, how exactly does it work? You're saying that, but we don't understand how it works, and so it just made it a difference. I think people viewed me as like they trusted me more, I guess, because they understood now this is how it works. So it was a big difference for us. Yep.
So again, because it makes it clear, and clarity is a big part of your performance guarantees. If it's difficult for your customers or prospects to understand, it's unlikely they're going to call. A confused mind does nothing. So anyway, so what we've done is we've taken 3 boxes out on this newsletter for very specific hand-picked editorial ads. Bruce, the publisher here, has 9 of our editorial ads. So the idea, now listen really close, the idea is to just have 3 newsletter templates, 3, and you repeat them every 3 months. So newsletter number 1 this month, newsletter number 2 next month, newsletter number 3 the month after that, and then the following month, you just repeat newsletter 1. There are some things that change month over month, but for the most part, all 9 editorial ads, it takes basically 3 months to get through all of them, okay, if you're running 1 newsletter a month. Okay, so here's editorial ad number 1 right here. You can see it on your screen. I think you can, yep. Here's editorial ad number 2. Okay, you can see that, right? And here's editorial ad number 3 on this page. Okay, and again, there's 9 editorial ads that Craig and I handpicked that are the best performing ones. So you want to run these editorial ads, okay? And you can mix and match them as you want to, but for me, I got 3 this month, another 3 next month, another 3 the month after that, then I start over. And Sarah, I think that's pretty much the way you've been rotating yours. Is that right?
Yeah, but this is a lot easier. But yes, that's what I was doing, rotating them.
All right. So that takes care of. So let's go back, and I'm walking everybody through this, and I'm going to just kind of repeat myself a few times so everybody understands. 4-page newsletter. Okay. And Consistency of banner, unique selling proposition message on every page. Consistency of footer, secondary offer, okay, on every page. Proof of your claims consistently on every newsletter. 4 big reasons to call, and here's how our program works. Okay, those things will never change on every newsletter. Okay, what does change? The editorial ads. Okay, 3 editorial ads on each newsletter. There's only 9, so you're forced to have to repeat them, and that's important that you do that. Okay. All right. Now let's get inside the newsletter a little bit here and take a look at some things. Now, when I first saw your original newsletter, Sarah, and I may have you confused with another member, and if I do, I'm sorry. But it seems like you were listing out addresses of homes that have sold in the neighborhood over the last month. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So you were giving away all of the information, and I said, well, Sarah, that's okay. You can tell everybody what's going on, but it would be better to get them to call you or contact you to find out what homes are selling for in the neighborhood. And, of course, we got a really good ad for that. It's right here on the inside page right here. So my recommendation is that you run this ad in every newsletter. But how do you get people to respond to it? Well, pretty simple. You say, okay, here's the most expensive home that sold last month, and here's the least expensive home that sold last month in the area. If you want to know what all the homes are selling for in your marketplace, here's what you do now. And that's the way it works. Many of you watching this program right now, I see your ads. You send them to me. And you give a long list of all the homes that sold in the area. And I guess you're thinking that because you provide all of the information, people are going to call you. But that's not how it works. People will just use that information and call the agent that has superior marketing. Okay? And this, what you're looking at, is superior marketing. Okay? I'm compelled to respond to your offer in the newsletter. Okay? So this is consistency. This appears every month. The most expensive home from last month, the least expensive home sold over the last month, and here's what you want to do now if you want to list the area home sales. Okay? So that's a rule. That runs consistently in every newsletter. All right? So let's move on, take a look at one of the other pages, okay, and it's the USP ad. All right, so Sarah, tell us a little about how you're getting your houses in there, how you select them, what you do, kind of what your rules are for making this work for you.
Yeah, so in the beginning, when I first sent you the newsletter, I was doing a lot of like sold, like, you know, we would have like a sold banner over a lot, and then we were also putting like all of our listings in. And what you explained to me and what I changed was that you want to put the listings in that people are calling about. So the ones that are selling quickly to get the most leads, basically. So that's what I changed. So any listing that we've gotten a lot of calls on will go in multiple times. Or if it's a listing even in our office that's got multiple offers, went under contract in less than 24 hours, we're putting that in as well. So basically all homes that buyers want.
Okay. Now, so what we've done here, and we're going to take a look at this section as far as customizing this section to work for you, the member that's watching right now. It's not difficult to do. Our publisher of our official newsletter here has made it easy for you to go in and create this ad, for example, this little box that I'm looking at right here. He's made it easy for you to put a house right here, upload pictures, and do all the cool things that you would expect to do, and write the text for the ad, all those kinds of things. But he also has the ability to actually just select a classified ad. So all of our best classified ads are available for you to click and pick and choose to replace, say, a property ad. So if you'd rather run a classified ad, like right here you can see we have kind of a mixture of our classified ads, classified display ads, and houses, and I like that mix personally. You can do the same thing. You can go with all classified ads, you can go with all houses, or you can mix it up. And I recommend that you do exactly what you see right here, is you mix the ads up. So this will take a little bit of work each month to do, but not much based on what's available at your disposal here to fix this up. All right. So let's look at. I'm sorry.
We get the most leads from this section. We get the most leads from this section of the newsletter.
Sweet. All right. Yeah. Property inquiries.
Yeah.
And that's a great point you made, Sarah. That the houses that you put in here, that represents the kind of calls you're going to get. Like if most agents outside of this program advertise what they have, and if they've got properties that aren't selling, and they're advertising those, and they wonder why they don't get any calls. Well, ads don't work. Well, shit, they're advertising properties that nobody wants. So if you want calls, you advertise properties that people want really bad. And most likely those are the homes that are selling really fast. And so it doesn't take a rocket science to do that, but you guys can figure that out. Sarah, you have. All right, so down here in these two sections, get the section on the left, I chose to go with third-party endorsement. Basically, you being recognized as one of the top real estate agents in North America, okay, and being awarded this accredited platinum real estate professional designation that Craig and I give you as a result of being in this program. That's an option for you in this box. You can customize it to do something else. Over here is where you leverage your service providers, okay? I call it my favorite people, okay? So you can even go with your name, Todd's favorite people. And then you list your mortgage guy, your financial guy, your landscape, cable, whoever you want to highlight. It could be one person, it could be 5. And my recommendation is just a simple, name of the service provider, like, okay, Hal Smith, Mortgage Services of America, and his website, or a URL that will link to a landing page on my website. Okay, so when I'm putting in Hal's contact information, I would prefer a URL that takes the prospects to my website, but to the affiliate page for Hal, my mortgage guy. Okay? Now, why do I want to do that? Well, Hal's going to pay me for this ad space, okay? But he's going to look at this and say, that's a really ad. And say, no, man, look at my website. We get tens of thousands of people going to our website each year. You're going to have your own page there, and we're going to drive traffic from the newsletter to that page, and that's where you do your marketing, okay? But understand they're on my website looking at his information. Fill out the form, we get the lead, and you can also have it carbon copied over to Hal. So that's the way you should use your ad space in your newsletters when promoting your affiliates. Okay, does everybody get that? Sarah, am I making sense there?
Yep.
Okay. So I think that makes sense for people. Now, you don't have to do it that way, but that's what I would do. If you want more traffic to your website, give your service provider, whatever category they're in, an affiliate page on your website, okay, and that's where you drive the traffic to. And if somebody fills out the form, it'll go to you, and it'll go to your affiliate provider, provided in the back end you have also that form simultaneously being sent to their email address. And you can do that in your control panel for your Success website. Okay? So that takes care of that section. And over here, this section is automatically filled in. This little box is automatically filled in based on the ads that you choose. Okay, the editorial ads that you put in there. All that happens here is Bruce, the publisher, just, if this is the title of one of the editorial ads, it will show up right here in the bullet points of what's inside the newsletter. Okay, and of course we have the very best headlines available. So anyway, so this is pretty much a done for you, kind of a turnkey newsletter that has the best of the best marketing available for it, using the rules of direct response marketing that Craig and I are very familiar with, and a history of success of other members doing it. So my recommendation is that everybody jumps on this and does it in your particular marketplace, and work with Bruce, our publisher here, to do that. So before we go to Bruce here and bring him on and walk everybody through how this works and what it does, Sarah, do you have some other comments on on this USP farming newsletter? Like, give me an idea. How many are you sending out every month? And
yeah, we start We started out with a small group. It was around 4,000, and Bruce probably knows the exact number. But and then we added 8,000 to it in December of last year, and so now we're doing a total of I think right under 13,000 a month. But the key is doing it every month. So I just wanted to, I know that you mentioned that in the beginning, but I just want to reiterate it. I think it's very important, the consistency with it, and then rotating these ads, rotating these ads every 3 times, but making sure people get it every single month to where you're known by this and you're going to get tons of calls through it from just consistency. I mean, when we started doing the new area, we got calls right away, doing it the right way. Your way of showing us, but then it just grows as time goes on. You get more and more and more. So I think doing it every single month is just so important. So I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, well, what about color versus black and white?
Yeah, so I'm testing that right now. I mean, I did it in black and white for years. I mean, Bruce will tell you that he printed ours in black and white for years. I just started doing color, so I know you told me that it probably won't make a difference. I did have a listing appointment this week, and I just did some testing, and I asked them, and they said that they had never noticed it before, and it was in color. But the thing is, it's also like their reticular activator or whatever was thinking real estate, so they might have not noticed it before because they just weren't thinking about selling their house too. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm still testing that right now. Consistency, though, if you have to choose between black and white and color versus consistency, go with doing it consistently. I
agree, and if you're not sure, you can always split test it.
Yeah, yep.
You get, if you're sending out 10,000, half of them get 5,000 in black and white, 5,000 in color, and you just have to make sure that you've got 2 different orders going, 2 different URLs on everything, so you can track where the leads come from, whether it was one of the black and whites or whether it was one of the color ones.
Yeah.
If you want to know for sure, too many people, especially in this program, just make assumptions about things, and your customers will tell you, by their own action. So, but split testing is always the way to figure out whether something works. And once you have a control, for example. Let's suppose we determine that template number 1 kills it in black and white, and we want to test against template number 1 in color, but we're doing so good with it, we're scared to monkey with it. Okay, well, 80% of the list gets template number 1, or what we call the control, and 20% would get your new idea. And but again, it needs to be measurable, and I can help you with that if that's something that you want to do. But I know many of you are busy. You have a hard enough time just getting up in the morning and getting to the business that you do have. So you want us to do as much of the heavy lifting for you as we can. I get it, and I think we've done a good job on that here. All right, so with that, let's bring Bruce on. So Bruce, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, welcome to the program today. First of all, thank you. You've done a good job here with, working with me and the other Platinum guys and Sarah here at creating this template, this newsletter, as a result of a lot of trial and error and work over the past 1 year plus with our program and systems and members. So, great job. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you, Todd. And Sarah, thank you for recommending Todd. It's been great working with you with all these years. And yeah, hopefully we've made something that's not that's as easy as possible as far as being able to go online and place an order and basically retrieve the information that we would need to help put together a newsletter for you.
Okay, so let's talk about, before we get into how to place an order and how to get this thing, because I know that there's quite a few people here that want to do that. I can see that from the questions list and the hands raised. Let's talk about first of all the cost or the investment that we need to make into it. We all understand how to get other people to help us pay for this thing, but we need to know the overall cost elements of it. So Now, I understand, and what you've got set up for us is you can do two things, right? You can either you can just produce the newsletter, print it, and send it to us so that we can mail out however we want to, or you can produce it and print it and mail it to wherever we want it to go. Is that right?
That's correct. The way that we have it set up is basically if somebody wanted us to mail their newsletter, we would be using the the Every Door Direct Mail, the EDDM. There are other ways that we can mail. There's saturation mailing, which is what we do with Sarah's newsletters. There is, and there's also where a mail list could be, purchased. But as far as the way that we have the pricing listed online, is based on that if we did the printing, the mailing services, which also includes the postage and those prices that we're advertising there, we would be using the Every Door Direct Mail, and that is something that we would need to receive as far as the routes that would be selected in the zip codes. So there is some obviously some correspondence between us and the person ordering the newsletter as far as if we're going to do the mailing.
All right, so let's talk about the full service option, because that's kind of the way I am. I worked with you for a little bit. I'm sorry, sir?
I said me too.
Yeah.
Full service.
Yeah, because we're really busy, and it taxes my staff to have to do these kinds of things. So I scrolled down to the newsletter. We'll call it option 4, like you got listed on your website here. It's black and white, print, mailed, postage, everything. In 10,000 of these sent out to my market area, full service, $4,138. That includes everything. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other extra? I'm sorry?
Oh, I was going to say that some of the questions that have been posed that I would just like to say, as far as the mailing part, is like how long does it take? So if I'm we're located in Virginia, and someone in California wants to drop a mailing, how long would that take for the Every Door Direct Mail? Well, what happens is that we would, from the time that we printed the newsletter to probably in the mailboxes of a person out in California, we're probably talking a period of probably almost 3 weeks. And so but that's again when you're dropping something with Every Door Direct Mail, what happens is we're doing all the paperwork, we're putting it all together, we're dropping it off at the post office here, the main central one here in Northern Virginia, and that is then sent to the post offices where they will be delivered in those zip code areas, selected areas. So a fair assessment is basically allowing for a 3-week period. So, as far as doing anything faster than that, there are options available, even with the Every Door Direct Mail, which means we could send it out priority. The post office has its own structure. It has its own way of doing that, but there is some additional cost to the postage. It's not significant, but that would help increase things, because from the time a place is ordered to the time we're finished printing, we're talking a few days, and then as far as if we're just shipping the letters directly, then it's just the if it's just regular shipping, so out to California, we're talking probably like 4 to 5 business days of shipping time. But as far as there are some options, but they're not included in the price as far as if there's something that really needs to be expedited.
Okay. All right. I know you can deal with members one-on-one, so let's kind of walk through. I just threw the pricing up on the website here, and so for the full color print only, for like 10,000, it's a couple of grand. Okay.
Yes.
And if we go down to option number 2, full color, full service, print, mail, everything, 10,000, 45.83. Okay, and so that's about, for 10,000 of these things, that's about that's far less than one commission check. It's about half of one commission check for me here in Metro Atlanta. If we go down to black and white, and 10,000, 1,563 just printed and delivered. If we go with the full service, print, mailed, everything, $10,000, $4,138. Did I get that right?
Yes.
So color is just a little bit more money than black and white.
Yes.
$41.38 versus $45.83. But again, I know color looks pretty to the eye, but I'm more interested in response. And we've done things in color. We've done them in grayscale, black and white, and we've gotten bigger responses from black and white stuff many times, but not always. So that's why I'm encouraging members to, first pick one and do it, but measure the results as well. Okay, so pretty good. All right, so if I click on, I'm just going to scroll back up here to the top, Bruce, and I'm going to click on this. Let's go up here and we'll option 1, full color print only, and it's going to download basically the PDF where it's telling me all of the boxes that I've got to pretty much fill in here when I go to place an order. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So that gets uploaded there. Upload photo, banner required. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is just to give a good idea of exactly what we're looking for as far as obtaining information from a potential buyer there. And the thing to we've done a step-by-step as far as when you go further into the website. I mean, into the placing the order. But this is kind of giving a summary of what we're looking for, and just to kind of help keep that in mind as you're going through the ordering process, to just kind of keep in mind what areas that we're looking for.
Okay, I got it. And so everybody's kind of following along here, just looking at the PDF. This is the information that all these little yellow things and boxes. Again, these are drop-down menus in the order selection process that we're going to look at here in a minute. I'm going to walk everybody through so that you can get rolling on this thing. Okay, so a pretty good job here. Easy to understand. I like it, and you guys have worked really hard on putting this together for all the Platinum members. So that let's face it, we're real estate agents, and we don't like to think about these kind of technical things, but I know you guys have put a lot of time and energy and thought into making this as easy as possible to get started. So great job there. All right, so why don't we do this? Let me go back and see. Okay, here we go. So why don't we do this? Let's bring Andrea back on. I want to get everybody's attention at this point because I want to know where we are here with this so that we can do a good job of helping everyone. We're going to get to your questions here momentarily. Talk about how do you get going, how do you place an order, and all those kind of things, and we're going to walk through that here next. But before we do that, Andrea, I'd like to conduct a poll if possible, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sir. The polling is actually on everybody's screen now. Go ahead.
Okay. So look, if you like what you've seen here and you want to put this USP Farming newsletter to work in your business, then let me know by checking yes on the polling box that's on your screen right now, please, because I've got Dana and Andre here at my office as well, and this is such a good tool for helping our members make money. They've agreed to help me help you answer questions as well to get this thing up and running if you want it to go. I'm going to mystery shop your stuff when you send them to me anyway, like I do your other marketing materials that you get out. But if you want to put the USP Farming newsletter to work in your business, just click yes on the polling box that's on your screen, and we'll leave that open for about another 5 seconds. So if you could take that poll for me, I'd appreciate that. And Andrea, you can pull that down. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, so now, Bruce, let's suppose that I want to place an order on this thing, and I want to do it right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So why don't you walk me through what to do?
Okay. Well, first, you would go to our website, which is at 4starprinting.com, all spelled out.
Okay, so I'm going to do that on my screen as we walk through it. So here we go. So here's what you do. Go to 4starprinting.com. Everybody's got that URL. Write that down, 4starprinting.com. You can see it right there in the address bar in my Firefox browser. All right, so boom, I'm going to 4starprinting.com. There's your website. Step number 2.
Okay. In the green bar at the top, there's the account login.
All right, so right there, account login right at the top. Everybody can see that. So that's 4starprinting.com. Click on account login, and you've created a special account for all of the Platinum Program members. All right, so let's. I'm already logged in.
Right.
We got my cookies are in place. So tell everybody. Let's tell everybody what the username and password is.
Okay. The username is USP. The letters USP, and the password in all caps is USP1234.
So there's a username and password. Okay, so I'm going to write this out for everyone so everybody can see it on the screen. Okay. 4starprinting.com. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay. Step 2. Account login. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Username and password. Aren't you impressed with my?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. That was the right thing to say. All right. So we'll call that step 2, and there you go. So now once you're in the portal, this is what you're going to see, okay, if you're a Platinum Program member. Now, let's talk about that real fast, Bruce. Your agreement for doing this for us and getting the price to where I thought it was good for the members, you agreed that, yes, this is for Craig Proctor Platinum Program members only, like, you know, the guy down the road who's some Coldwell Banker agent, who might be a Quantum Leap member but's not a Platinum Program member. This is just for Platinum Program members, so I want to make sure that we're clear on this, and that's part of our agreement that we have here with Bruce. So we're going to police this, and Bruce is not the policeman, I am. So I will absolutely, and Bruce has agreed, we'll shut somebody down if they're not a Platinum Program member that's knocking off this newsletter. It is absolutely trademarked to this program and its program members. So there's a couple of hundred members here. It's going to work out just fine. It's not, you know, it's not like you're going to. There's going to be, you know, thousands of people using this same newsletter. It will always be exclusive because that's going to be about the size of this group for a long time to come. So, Bruce, I appreciate you doing that.
Yes.
All right. So let's now the next. Once I'm in here, let's suppose, Bruce, I want to go with the full color, full service option. So my next step would be is to select the quantity that I want to send out. So let's suppose that, you know, I'm going to go with the 7,500 option. Okay, so the next thing that I do is I go up here to where it says quantity under the option that I want, and I just type in the quantity. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The key is putting in the quantity because that will get you to the next screen.
Hey, what happens if I don't put in a number that you have here? What happens if I put in 8,348?
It'll just come up with probably like the 10,000 quantity number. I mean, or as far as the pricing will list that, but
Okay.
Yeah, if there's going to be a different quantity that is required, I mean that's fine. Just put in a quantity, and we can always circle back and talk about quantities as far as pricing goes.
Okay. All right, so I put in quantity 7,500 and I click the enter button.
Okay.
And that brings me into basically all the blanks that I got to fill out according to the sections on the templated newsletter. And I'm just kind of scrolling down through them here as we're looking at them. And you can see the blanks pretty much are just like the ad generator on our coaching site, Sarah. It's just the URL or the information line.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, and the drop-down menus, if I want to select a different editorial ad other than the 10 questions to ask before you hire a real estate agent, here they are. I can select it. And when I do, I just put in the URL or the information line. That's how it works. Okay, so it's a pretty easy thing. So let's talk about the listing ad, the property inquiries that are the property ads. It looks pretty easy for me to navigate through, Bruce. That's on page 3 of the newsletter. So I select the photo of my listing. I put in the price range. And am I limited here on the amount of text that I can put in about this house?
No, it's just a matter of like how, as far as how much, we are limited to the space. So I mean, as you get more and more, then the information will get smaller and smaller. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, within reason, I would, just, be as
I got you.
brief as possible. Yeah, without.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty neat. All right. So, or I can select from one of our classifiers display ads to use. Great.
Yes.
You got them all right there. It's fantastic. And if I do that, then I've got to provide my website address and/or information line number. Okay, and it's the same thing for all of the listing ad spaces. Now, we created, I think in this template, 12 spaces. Is that right, for that section?
That's correct. Okay. Yeah, 12 spaces, and so that each you'll see that, listing or ad for each space. And then you can select if you're doing all photos or all pictures of houses, then that you would just browse. Find it where you have your photo on your computer, and you can upload that.
All right. So now let's talk about this section here on page 4. My favorite people. What am I limited to here in terms of text space, or is there a limit? I see we got 6 options or 6 boxes.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, as far as, you're not, you're somewhat not limited to space, but, like it'll probably reduce and squeeze the text. And again, if there's something extraordinary that needs to be done in that section, again, it's just a phone call, and so it might be a situation where things that are unique they're going to have to do do it a little differently.
Okay. Yeah, I think just listing the person's name, what kind of business they're in, if they have a unique selling proposition, I'll put that in there and link them right back to the affiliate page on my website. If I don't have that, I'll put their phone number in. So some pretty simple customization there. Okay, fantastic. All right, so what am I missing here, Bruce? Anything?
No, it's just a process of just going through is step by step, and again, there could be something that's unique, or like for example, we're uploading. It'll ask for like the logo, and say we get the logo, it's uploaded, but it's a very poor resolution or something like that. We will be in contact. Obviously, we're not going to take something and just start printing it. We're going to make sure there's interaction with the proofs, and if we see something, then we'll be able to call and make sure we get that set so it looks good.
I wanted to mention I've worked with Bruce now for going on over 4 years, and my dad, who is a pastor of a pretty large church, also has been using Bruce for how long, Bruce? I don't know. But a long time.
10 years, I think.
But yeah, my dad's a pretty picky guy too. So I just want to say, like, Bruce's customer service is very, very top notch, and so he's not going to send something out that doesn't look good, or he'll take good care of everybody.
All right, so let's give out your phone number here, Bruce.
Okay.
And I'm copying it and pasting it on a Word document here so I can throw it up on my screen for everybody to see as well. But go ahead and give out your phone number if you don't mind.
Sure. It's right there. It's 703 661-0210.
I'm going to blow that up here so everybody can see that nice and big. And I can send you an email as well.
They could send me an email, and if either prefer me to call back or email back, either way, I will respond.
Okay, so let's we got some questions that we need to get to, and Andrea is going to help us with those. So before we do, let me answer a few of them. So some of the questions are going to be, hey Todd, can I just get this template and just take it down to my local printer and use it? The answer is no. You guys are welcome to create your own newsletters and templates, and you've gotten great ideas to do that. But if you want this template, the deal that I made with the publisher here is to get it from Bruce. Okay, there's reasons for that. Number one is that we can control it. In other words, we can measure it, we can fix it, we can make it better. That's the idea. Is that I'll give you one example, and this is a good example. So listen really close to this example, and it'll make really good sense to everyone. All right. Many of you are going to change the header from your home sold or I'll buy it to some other performance guarantee. So as you do that, Bruce takes that information and he creates drop-down menus for all of the Platinum members to select. And then I get to measure the results of what's working and what's not working and create better materials and ads and templates going forward. That's how this works. So with the power of the mastermind, we will be able to create a superior template as we move forward. That's how it works. Okay, so that's one example. That's just one example. I have many of them. Okay, but I want to make sure we're big on that. So for me to be involved in it, and it's a giant undertaking to be able to create something like this that works on a large scale, superior marketing, it's just going to be way better to do that when we're working off the same page, that sort of thing. But yes, as a Platinum member, you are welcome to use the ads, use the information that you have. Many of you are doing that now, and that's fine. But if you want this newsletter, this template, and to be part of that system, the pricing is really good. I don't think you're going to beat it. If you do, it's by a few dollars. And, but you kind of get what you pay for. And you will miss out on the bigger part of the mastermind and the improvements that are made along the way as we do this. Because, Bruce, I think you would probably go along with me that if there are going to be some issues in the beginning here, getting people going with this thing, who knows what's going to happen, getting people off the ground and moving forward. You're going to have about 60 or 70 Platinum members that are going to be contacting you at one time here over the next few days, wanting to get this up and running in their marketplace. And that's as a result of that. I'm sure there's going to be some communication gaps. That's no big surprise for anybody. But we're patient. You're a professional. You guys do this thing for a living on large scale across your marketplace as well as across the country. So any surprises that you're prepared for or not prepared for, things you're concerned about here that we need to be aware of?
No, I think what we're prepared for is, this is part of having the online ordering system is to, again, help get as much information as possible so that we can, get it into working fashion. The big thing I think as far as information goes is if we're doing the mailing, as far as like how I mean, there's just some different options that obviously that we haven't listed on there. But again, we would just, it's almost kind of like, just as it comes in, questions come in, we'll be able to address it. And as far as getting the printing completed and done quickly, that part right there, I mean, once we get a final proof approved, again, we have the ability to turn these out quickly. So it's just, I think, like anything, when you're first starting, getting your first template set up, it gets easier. We're going to constantly improve the online ordering system as well. I mean, the feedback is invaluable from your platinum members, and and then we're fairly flexible to do whatever we need to do to if there's an influx of a number of people that want to get things rolling at the same time.
Okay.
We have ways of getting that accomplished.
Okay, and we probably got some questions, I think, too, that'll bring out some of these things. So why don't we do that? We've got a lot of hands raised here. So, Andrea, why don't we bring you on, and you can kind of, you handle that end of our program today, and let's try to get through some of these questions for either myself, Miss Sarah, as a testimonial, or Mr. Bruce as the gatekeeper on this thing.
Okay, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and type your question in the chat box, or if you have a working mic or on the telephone, click the hand icon you see at the top left-hand side, and I can open your mic. We have a question from Nathan Clark. Your mic is now open.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Hey, buddy.
Hey, so what's the minimum, not the minimum, but what's the number that you find you have to send to make this successful?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
On average, 8,000.
About 8,000, okay.
Now, look, that's not to say you won't be successful with 3,000 or 5,000 at all. It's just that I know pretty much what everybody's looking for in terms of what they consider to be really good returns on their time and energy and money. And the difference between 5,000 postcards and 8,000 postcards is almost twice as much for money made in half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just come from years of looking at it that way. But that's not to say that you can't send out 5,000 of these and get back a lot of a good return on your investment. It's just that I got an idea of what everybody's looking for, so that's the reason the 8,000 number came into play.
Okay, and Bruce, this is a question for you. Obviously, it makes sense to go with the color because it's not that much more money. But it's every door direct, meaning we're going to pick the list, we send it to you, or you mail us the box, and then we have to drop it off at the post office. How does that work?
For the full service, I mean, we would actually we would do all the paperwork, and we would drop it off at the post office locally here, and then that gets transported to the places you've selected.
So basically, I just send you a check, and everything's taken care of.
Yes.
I like that. All right, that was my 2 questions.
No question for me, Nathan?
Sarah, what's the weather like down there?
It's hot.
Good talk to you. Thanks, Sarah.
Our next guest is Vic McCarian. Your mic is now open.
I have a couple of questions, please. One for Sarah regarding the properties that she put it, and she was getting a lot of leads from it. Did she put her listings, or did she put mixed, like her listings? And because I have, like, for example, a couple listings, I want to put more properties. How should I do it?
Yeah, I put either homes that I sold already, homes that are active that buyers want, homes that are under contract, or I also would ask someone in my office. If I didn't have the listings, I would ask someone in my office to borrow listings.
Oh, you put the ones sold also?
So just homes that I know what buyers want.
Oh, okay. So,
I'm sorry?
So you put the sold ones too? like the homes
But I
that
didn't mark them as sold.
Oh, you don't mark them?
Possibly.
Okay,
I put homes that people will call on.
okay. And since
Homes
it
that
works,
buyers want. So like what Todd teaches us.
or homes that buyer wants, okay. Okay, and since it works so good, do you think it's a good idea to move that to the front page of the
No, Vic, don't go changing the pages.
No, I'm just asking. You know, I don't want to change it. I'm just suggesting.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Just go with the template. Yep. You don't need
It works. It works so good that I'm keeping it how it is.
Okay. And my last question to Bruce, please, regarding the prices there were, are those prices only for EDDM? Because, like, for example, I have around 950 past clients. They're not in the same area. How that the price will change?
Well, I would have to do a quote for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
anything that's kind of like in which we can do. I mean, we can do EDDM, and then there could be, well, I've got these lists that I want to mail to. We can do that too. It's just a matter of doing a quotation at that point.
okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Our next guest is Colin Trett. Your mic is now open.
Yes, hi. I have two questions. First one for you, Bruce. We're up here in Canada, so from a perspective of getting it printed only possibly by you, are you able to drop ship bulk? And if so, would they come in hundreds banded? Or could we send you the actual, our equivalent of zip code, and you'd break it down and then send it back to us like that? And would you Canada Post up here to do it? Or if you have an alternative method, please share that.
Sure. As far as Canada goes, it is something that I haven't looked into in full detail as far as that goes. But what we can do is we can certainly band in the hundreds. We can do the drop shipping. That's no problem. I would have to get back to you as far as more information as far as like being able to drop, doing the full service drop, the mailing as an EDDM in Canada.
Okay, that's great. But initially, drop shipping would work for us. That works well.
Okay.
Thank you for that. My second question is for you, Sarah. Could you share with us on your approximate 12,000, I believe you said, that go out each month, what's your return in terms of appointments, inquiries, etc.?
Yeah, so I just added the 8,000 in December. So for the past 4 years, I've done right around 4,000, give or take, like because I do a zip code. So last year, from the 4,000 that I sent, we can count 42 transactions that came directly from the newsletter. So, so our average commission is $10,000. So that's $420,000 in income from the newsletter. Did that answer your question?
Sure does. Great ROI. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. That's why we're doing this and sharing this with you guys. It's been an awesome thing for our business.
Thanks very much. That's all for my questions.
Thanks, Colin.
Yeah.
Our next guest is Scott Gartner. Your mic is now open.
Hi. There we go. Mic wasn't in place. We just got our first newsletter in place. Bruce has been very helpful. Thank you very much. So 2 questions. One, my assistant asked, is there a way to make the form savable? As she has to be able to fill it all out in one sitting or it goes away.
Bruce?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm checking that because
Yeah, my assistant had the same question, Bruce.
yeah.
See, it's always the assistants that think of these things.
Exactly.
All right, so there you go. That gives you something else to work on there, Mr. Bruce.
All right, then the second question, this is more for Todd. Some people, not everybody's aware that 62% of all Platinum members live in the greater Phoenix area. And so, you know, like Discover does, they do it by zip codes. We're bombing 3 zip codes out here. Are we going to have that where we're just kind of going on top?
Here's what I recommend. You guys do a really good job, and this is the same way in every metropolitan area. And, you know, it's out of the, 6 or so Platinum members that will probably do this in Phoenix, 4 to 6 really. You should just get together and work it out. That's always worked over the years, and I don't know why I wouldn't here. In other words, if you, and I don't know who you might be, quote, competing against, but let's suppose it's Mark Gastineau. You get on the phone with Mark, you say, hey, Mark, this is what I'm thinking. And are you doing this? And Mark, he may say yeah, he may say no. So that's it. And it's usually the first person in the market that kind of rules and this kind of thing. And then when somebody else wants to come in and do it, you're coming in behind somebody that's already established. But if it's a simultaneous thing, get together, work out the USP, the logistics, maybe who you're targeting and who you're not targeting, and I think there's probably plenty of business to go around. And if there's a dispute, call me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we don't have too much of that going on, thank God, in this program, and never really have. It seems to be a good balance in the members that do, quote, compete against each other. I know Carol Royce and Lester Cox, about a mile apart from each other, and but both, 2 of the top real estate agents on the planet, and have great relationships and get along, and logistically very rarely run into each other on the street, in competition. So these things seem to work out here in this group for whatever reason. I think maybe it has something to do with the people involved. So that's my recommendation, Scott. I think that'll work out. So we'll proceed that way and see how it works and that sort of thing. But if for some reason, let's suppose Craig and I decided to add another 200 members to the Platinum program and it did become a problem, we would always or always go to the people that have been most loyal members in the program. They would always get first dibs on these kinds of things. As yeah.
That says a lot. Thank you.
So you do have my word on that. All right. Good question.
Okay, hold on one moment. Our next guest, Barb Shinkler. Your mic is now open.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you so much for sharing this, Sarah and Todd. I was really excited when I saw it at conference, and I lost a piece of paper, so I'm so glad you're doing this webinar. Vic already answered one of my questions, thank you, or he asked and it was answered about the copies for us for our sphere of influence. The 2 questions I have, one is about the colors. I just redid my logo that's designed to be on a darker background. Is there just one choice of colors, or do you have, is it set up where you can put a logo on a dark background?
Mr. Bruce?
Yes. I mean, the way we have it right now is set up like that, but if we're going to go in and make changes to colors and things like that, then we can do that. It would just be a situation where we'd probably have to look at how much is involved with the change that's being required to the newsletter, but it can be done. We'd probably have an additional fee to do it. It would not be a large fee at all. It'd just be something where we'd have to kind of, as we go forward, just, looking at, as the situation. But once we get something set up, it might be a situation because it'd be unique to that person and that color or their banner, where we may have to set up individual logins for the future if it's going to, be a little different.
Okay.
Where you could come back and still go through the process, but you're not looking at the same banner.
Okay.
And then if anything, again, if there's anything additional change, I mean, it's just calling us and letting us know, or send us an email, and then we'll call you back.
All right, great.
And discuss it.
Okay. And then my other question's for Sarah. What was it that made you decide what neighborhoods to target with your newsletter?
I did a lot of research ahead of time, so looking at the first area that I targeted, which I picked like 4 years ago, it was where I lived, and at the time no agent was targeting it because we have to have special signage, and so a lot of realtors don't want to target that area because brand recognition and stuff like that's more difficult. So no one held the market share, so I was determined that it was going to be me. And so that's how I picked it originally, and then the next area that I added to it this past December was just the area right next to it. So because I'm doing a whole zip code, like I would say, I'm just trying to think what Craig or Todd would say, which would be to look at areas that are have high turnover. And so, but I just did an entire zip code. So the high turnover streets and things like that are in that area.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's how I picked it. Yeah, more looking at competition. No one was targeting it, and then making sure people also were moving, obviously. And so there was a good enough turnover rate in the area for me to think that it was worth it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is great.
Our next guest is Marcus Hines. Your mic is now open.
How you guys doing?
Good.
I guess two questions. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I guess two questions, and it's kind of a piggyback on the one just asked, was narrowing down. Sometimes the area that I'd like for price range and nearest to my office, etc., and I live in that zip code, it just gets bombarded by stuff. And not saying that I'm scared to compete, but sometimes it makes more sense to fish in a secret pond. Evaluating the statistics for turnaround, less competition to make the marketing more effective. What would be your and Todd's feedback for picking an area to farm in?
Okay, well, if it's me, you know, that may very well change over time, Marcus, and I get what you're saying. So for me, it was just where the money was. You know, turnover, stability, price range, competition, all those things kind of come into factor. And I realize those are just, you know, those are generalities for you, but you should be able to make that determination in your marketplace on those things. Again, turnover, price range, competition, and then that, over time, that may move around in your marketplace. It did for me. And but that's where we made decisions to strategically spend a lot of money, like on farming in a particular area. Again, good price range, what the competition looked like, and turnover.
Well, and I want to ask you, Marcus, what are they sending out? Because I think the biggest thing is, with this newsletter, the editorial ads are huge too. So I talked about the USP section with the homes, but the editorial ads, getting people to raise their hand, they're looking to sell 6 months to 12 months from now, and then putting them on the letter plan and following up with them is huge too. So if someone's just sending out a postcard like the traditional real estate marketing, then I don't know if I would be as concerned about that.
Yeah, and then as you ask that question, some people have some decent postcards. Some people have a list of all the properties that have sold in the area, but nobody's compiled it's a one-shot deal like this. So this would set apart from the competition.
Yeah, and I found it to really set apart. I mean, so that's a hard thing, but it's a hard decision when there's a lot of agents that are mailing. But at the same time, if no one's doing something like this, I don't know if I would be that concerned.
And then do you, besides this, your circle of influence, because you're looking to brand this area that you send your newsletter to, this is your area, do you send also some gifts at one point, like magnets and things that hang around for long term?
Yeah, we have done that, yes. We haven't done that recently, but we have done that. But the beauty of this is as you get consistent with it, you're just known by it, meaning, I mean, this is something that you are known by. People come up to me and they act like they know me, and they don't know me, you know. It's just that they know the newsletter. So I don't know if you necessarily need to send those on top. Yeah, I'm sure you can. But I don't know if you need to. I would just start with this, and then you'll start seeing results.
Okay. And for the mail house or Star, we submit our package and all of our information you need for the newsletter, and you get paid and the order's made. How long from when the order's made can we expect people in our farm to receive the newsletter, realistically, in California from where you're at, let's say?
I would say realistically it's 3 weeks.
3
I mean,
weeks.
there's other ways, but it's not. It'll have to be quoted because there would be some additional fees for expedited shipping and things like that.
Okay.
As far as doing if you're asking the question like doing the whole package, the printing, mailing, and post, for California, I would say in their boxes, I'd say just the standard process. We're talking probably 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay.
All right. So as some of you, we're getting some repeat of the same questions that you answered a little bit ago, Bruce. So if you missed it, if you're in Canada, and we've got a pretty good number of members that are, right now, I know, Bruce, you're working on, being able to mail this thing directly for our Canadian members to their postal routes. But for now, you'll print and you'll drop ship the materials right to the member. So
yes,
I just want to make sure, and that's for Canadian members. The other thing is that I'm getting a question on that's really good is, hey, what's the difference, Todd, between this and the newspaper? Okay, well, they're two different things. Using somebody's mailbox, for example, you've got lots of options. You've got the postcards, you've got this USP farming newsletter, and you've got your own real estate newspaper. Okay, and that's the idea. At some point in your career, my hope is that you're doing all those things to really dominate and control your marketplace. This is a much different piece than a newspaper. A newspaper is a newspaper. It's full of news. It has shelf life. It hangs around more, okay, and that sort of thing. And but this right here is designed to get your unique selling proposition prominently positioned into the hands of prospects. So it's going to generate a little more now business for you over and above some of the other things that we just mentioned, postcards, for example, and in the newspaper. So it's just different. I recommend that you do it. You guys will be happy with the results on it. So go ahead and give it a shot. Hopefully that answers your question well enough that you'll do that. I'm not telling anybody to stop doing one thing and start doing another. That's not what this is about. Your job is to quantum leap your real estate business, not get incremental gains. And stopping a profitable marketing system and starting another marketing system that's profitable is a great way to get an incremental gain. Okay? So if you got something right now that's working for you, you're making a profit from it, then your job as the rainmaker is to simultaneously roll out other marketing systems, get them working, growing northward. Okay, and your ability to do that will have direct impact on how big and how fat and how profitable your business is going to be. Okay, so that's a big problem that we have with some of our members, Bruce, is that they'll have a really good marketing system working, they're making money from it, and then they'll start something else, and the other thing that they were doing, it just kind of fades away in the background. And I asked them about it 6 or 8 months later, and they're like, oh yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I quit running that ad or whatever. So this is one of several marketing systems that members have at their disposal now, and that's the idea, is that if you go to some successful member's real estate business, say Francois McKay up in Montreal, and he laid out for you all of his marketing systems to do 70 deals a month. okay, you're going to see that he's got about 8 or 9 marketing systems that he can measure that business is coming from. And, you know, to give everybody an idea here of how it works. So anyway, hopefully that answers everybody's questions on the marketing front. And Andrea, I'll turn it back over to you. And we got time for a couple of more.
Yes, sir. We have Mark Gastineau. Your mic is open.
Hey, Todd.
Mr. Mark Gastineau, what's going on?
Hey, actually, my hand was up when I logged in, and then I put it down, but no specific question other than this. This is, I guess, a comment. This is awesome. And Scott Gartner, yeah, we can talk about it. We'll get it figured out. Jay and Scott and myself all kind of work in the same area, but you know what? We never stepped on each other's toes, so not an issue there at all.
Yeah, those things usually work out. All right, great. Thank you, Mark. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next month.
Yep.
Our next question comes from Ihsan Shah. Your line is open. Ihsan, your line's open. Okay. We'll go on to Sugar Ray and JP Perino. Your mic is now open. Sugar or JP, your line is open. Their question, they typed it in the chat box, is what size is the newsletter? I'm not sure if you had addressed that or not.
Bruce?
The size of the newsletter? Is that
Yes,
the
please.
question?
Yes,
okay.
please.
Yes, it is. It's 11 by 17, and then when it folds in half, you know, folds to 8.5 by 11, and when it's mailed out as EDDM, it would mail out as 8.5 by 11, but we can also fold it to fold it down to even like 5.5 by 8.5. But it is an 11 by 17 sheet flat, and it's before it's folded.
Okay, we have Art Ligmas. Your mic is now open. Open.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Question for Sarah. Sarah, this is Art Lagunas. I'm in Virginia. Rob's friend. You know me, I guess. Wanted to ask you.
Hey, Art, how are you?
Good. Wanted to ask you about farm number 2. I understand you have 2 farms. Farm number 1 is 4,000 homes that you've been mailing for 4 years, and you've done 42 transactions. Now, farm number 2, which is more interested to me, it's 8,000 homes, and you've been mailing since December. So you've done 6 mailings so far, and spent over $20,000 on that new farm. Can you just share us like what the return you have on that? Do you have any appointments, listings?
Oh, yeah. I would have to look at it off the top of my head. We've had 2 listings closed. We have multiple listings on the market right now from it. If you search 20152, like anything that has come up under my name is basically from that. We also, one thing about this is that we also get a lot of buyers too. So we work with a lot of move-up buyers because of this. So they have townhouses to sell or condos or move-down buyers. And so in that transaction number, it's not just listings. It's also buy-sides.
Okay.
So I know right now Sasha's out showing houses to a buyer that came from this, that we have their house on the market. So yeah, I would have to. I can send you an email with the exact number. But I know we got a listing the very first one we sent.
That's the only, I guess, marketing tool that I see can work in 6 months. I haven't heard any kind of farming that would work so fast.
Yeah, it's because we're doing it the right way, the Craig Proctor way. So I did it the other way, and it took the traditional farming way, and it took 6 months just to get my first listing. Whereas I got a listing the first time sending this to the new area.
Okay. And you haven't been mailing, as you said, this is totally a brand new farm to you.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. That answers.
All right. Miss Andrea, I appreciate you running on the thing. Bruce, I want to thank you. So I want to reiterate to everybody still with us. If you want to get rolling with this and dominate your marketplace, getting more listings, you will. Okay, everybody knows how to handle direct call-ins from their performance guarantees, and you should know how to handle following up with editorial ads, leads that come in from your editorial ads, excuse me. So this is an easy, manageable marketing piece, and if you have issues or problems with it on the marketing end, I'll help you. I want you to do really well and to add this to your arsenal if it's right for you. Okay, if it's right for you. If it's not, no problem. Okay, that's why we have a lot of great things here in this program for you to use. All right, so with that, step one, go to 4starprinting.com. All right, step number two, just click on the account login up at the top toolbar there. And in step number three, enter the username and password that you see on your screen here. All right, and then just select the quantity of the option that you desire, whether you want full color, full service, or black and white, full service, printing only, whatever it is that you want there. Okay, and that's going to take you to just fill in the blanks. Okay, and if you have questions along the way, and you probably will, that's okay. Bruce is available to help you with that. And there's his phone number and email address there. Look, the worst thing you can do is nothing. So if this is something you believe will benefit you and you want to do it and you like this idea, then don't procrastinate. Now get going with it. Don't put it on the shelf and get back to doing something. You get going with it, okay? And don't get left behind, and be the first to market with it especially. So with that, Sarah, I want to thank you for jumping on today's webinar and giving your comments and adding some credence to newsletter marketing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all your help with it and impacting my business.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your success. You're doing fantastic, and you're a great inspiration to the program. Thank you very much. And Bruce, I want to thank you and your wife there and everybody on your staff. You guys do a fantastic job here. We're looking forward to furthering the relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, man.
My pleasure.
Okay, with that, that's going to wrap up our webinar today. Let's go sell some houses. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again.